Alright, this is a Huples Cat is a really good channel. Um, he's into the outdoors, he's into prepping, he's into a lot of things. He's also a kind of a head nurse at the hospital in Toronto, Canada, and he's been on the front lines of the whole COVID thing. And Toronto got hit reasonably hard, a lot harder than a lot of places. So the guy's worth checking out. Watch his old videos. Watch his check out his videos on, masks and gloves and everything else, because the guy's good. He really, really is good. He's a little bit more liberal than I am. I could say a lot of things, but I appreciate his opinions, and there's a lot to learn from him. But I put up a video, my last video, and he kind of started quibbling with some other commenters that are also good. Go back to the last video and watch it and look at the comments, and you'll know who I'm talking about. Fred Knott and Anna, and it's all good. But in any event, they're all really good people. They're all really good channels to check out. But I tell people about my past, and they kind of think I'm full of shit. I did meet Ross Perot before he ran for president at the Buffalo Hollow Country Club down in Dallas, Texas. The guy my father knew from college was a member, and when my brother was engaged to a girl in Dallas, Texas, there was a party there, and I met Ross Perot and told he was about to run for president. And he dropped out of the Buffalo Hollow Country Club because they did not admit blacks or women, so that nobody could bring that up, that he's a member of a racist, elitist, whatever. I've been a lot of places. I'm just going to lay it out there. I've been in a lot of places. I've met a lot of people. One of the people I met and was good friends with for a while before he kind of disappeared off the radar was a guy named Dave, whose Chinese name was Weidong something, Wang Weidong something. I don't remember. But it was David Wang to me. And his father sent him over here in the late 80s, early 90s, because there was a lot of fear of China invading Taiwan, and his father was a wealthy guy in Taiwan. So he came over here. The big fear was wealthy people in Taiwan losing everything when China invaded. So his father and some other guys invested in bankrupt real estate holdings in the United States, in New Jersey, where I was at the time. And so I got to know him. I got to know, I worked for the company from Taiwan, bought bankrupt housing developments. I was a project manager. We got them back up and running. And the idea was just to hold them until the real estate prices came back in New Jersey, and then sell whatever. But we always had to have a few houses built so that if these guys had to run, they had to jump ship and run out of Taiwan, they'd have a home. So that's what we did. In any event, Dave did pretty good. He was a computer. He had 2 majors in college. He went through high school with a private school in America, and went to college here. He had 2 majors. One was computers, one was business. In the end, he ended up working for Prudential, where he was partially responsible for bringing them into the in the early 90s into the modern world, and using computers instead of just having people watch TV screens and then tell the supervisor what's going on. And he, out of boredom, started writing programs to watch stocks and rise and fall, and he wound up doing really well with them. He also played the stock market really good. He liked a lot of things, including airplanes. So he wound up learning to fly down to Orlando, got a certification for 727 wide bodies, and eventually flew out of a route between Hong Kong and Taipei twice a day. He'd leave Taipei, fly to Hong Kong, get everybody off the plane. They'd wash the plane because it was filthy from the pollution, refuel it, vacuum it out, put new people on it, fly back to Taipei, and he did that twice a day. And twice a day the plane got washed, and twice a day it got refueled, and twice a day it got new people. And when SARS hit, back in the 90s, I called him up and I was like, "Hey Dave, what the hell's going on? Is this something I should worry about?" And he said, "Yeah, it's really bad here. Really, really bad. Every time the plane lands, there's people that are they have such high fevers they can't get out of their seat and they got to get carried off. But don't worry about it. It's fine. China, Taipei, even Japan has such bad air pollution problems that you wear a mask for about 2 hours and you have to change it because it turns black. And all the time you're blowing your nose and it's all black snots like you're welding or grinding or something." It's like, on all the construction we did, nothing's ever been as dirty as the air in Asia. And I said, okay, fine. So SARS eventually made its way to the United States, and in Toronto, where Huples Cat is, it actually hit pretty hard. And I do not know the conditions in Toronto because I've never been there. But I know in the United States, some people died. It really, it was a shocker, but it was not terrible, and that was it. The same thing is true with COVID. You have a place where if you wear a surgical mask, you have to change it every couple of hours because it's filthy dirty. A healthy person in Asia right now isn't even close to the 80-year-old smoker in America. Having said that, I'm smoking a cigarette. And it is good. But and I'm 54, so go figure. In a few years, I guess I gotta worry. But the health risks in America and the health risks in Asia are very different. And I do not know what Toronto is a very industrial town. American car manufacturers still have manufacturing in Toronto. It's a big industrial town. I have no idea. I've never been there. Someday maybe I'll go. But I do not know why Toronto is what it is. But I do know our county coroner, a guy named Dr. Moreland, and he has yet to do an autopsy on anybody who has actually died of COVID. He has done autopsies on people who have died, who tested positive for COVID, but they did not die because of COVID. But if you go to the state statistics, we've had, 30 dead, 36 maybe. I kind of stopped, when I realized what a bunch of bullshit it was, I stopped bothering looking. The coroner who does the examination says we got no dead from COVID. The state, under Governor Wolf and his director of health, who identifies as a ugly female woman, they have a different opinion, and they've got us at 36. New York City and Northern California, of all places, are the bulk of the American deaths from COVID. that's kind of screwed up because New York City, okay, fine, it's a dirty city, whatever. There's a lot of cars, there's a lot of pollution. Northern California is pretty clean. Southern California should be the hot spot, but apparently they're not. It kind of seems like all the numbers are fudged, and that sounds pretty cynical, and it sounds like, you know, some kind of truther, non-believer, tinfoil hat bullshit, but that's kind of the way it is. And if you actually look at the state numbers and then you go down to the county coroner's numbers, like I have, county coroners are not pronouncing people dead from COVID. This is the person that was on borrowed time to begin with. They already had heart disease, they already had lung disease, they already had failed kidneys, they already had whatever, and they're writing them down as such. And the state reworks the numbers, and it's all COVID. So, depending on how liberal your state is, depends on how bad your numbers are. And it's a terrible thing. Anyway, that's my shout out to huples, and that's my take on it all. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody stays safe, and I hope nobody gets sick. And God bless you all.